to the average traveler sitting in coach. The flight crew up front lives in a completely different world. We see the crisp uniforms, the gold stripes on the shoulders, and the effortless authority of commanding a multi-million-dollar machine through the clouds. In recent years, pilots have dominated financial news. Following unprecedented pilot shortages and grueling union negotiations, senior aviators at major legacy carriers have secured historic contracts, pushing median salaries well past the $226,000 threshold, and sending top-tier widebody captain pay soaring up to $500,000 a year. On paper, aviation looks like a straight line to wealth, but behind those eye-popping headline numbers lies a highly complex, completely non-traditional payment system that the average person would find utterly shocking. Because what if I told you that a pilot can easily work a 12-hour day, but only get paid for 4 of those hours? What if their massive salary is aggressively offset by a mountain of high-interest flight school debt? And what if their first few years in the cockpit are spent earning a take-home wage that barely covers a shared bunk bed in a crowded airport crashpad? Today, we are boarding the flight deck for a full financial and logistical audit of the aviation industry. We will break down the bizarre block-hour pay structure, expose the brutal hidden expenses of junior pilots, and run the real-world monthly pay stubs for both a rookie first officer and a senior widebody captain. Let's find out what it really costs to earn your wings. Let's start with the most critical concept in aviation finance, block time. Unlike almost every other salaried or hourly profession in the world, airline pilots are not paid for being on the clock. They are paid exclusively by the block hour. Block time officially begins the exact moment the aircraft cabin doors closed, and the parking brakes are released at the departure gate. It ends the moment the plane parks at the destination gate, and the brakes are locked. If the wheels aren't turning, the pilot is generally not earning. Think about what this means in practice. A junior pilot reports to the airport at 5 a.m. They pass security, check the weather, inspect the aircraft, and supervise passenger boarding. None of this is paid. They taxi out, fly a 2-hour leg, and then sit in a terminal for a 3-hour weather delay. Again, unpaid. After a 12-hour shift of pure professional responsibility, they may have only logged 4 block hours. To prevent pilots from starving during slow months, airlines utilize a safety net called the monthly guarantee, typically ranging from 72 to 80 hours a month. This is the minimum number of hours a pilot is guaranteed to be paid, even if they only fly 50. This means a pilot's baseline monthly salary is easily calculated. You take their contract's hourly rate and multiply it by their monthly guarantee. For a first-year first officer at a major airline earning $120 an hour, their monthly guaranteed base is $9,000. If they want to make more, they have to bid on open trips, trade shifts, and fly past their guarantee, eating further into their rest and personal life. But before a pilot can even touch that $9,000 a month base pay, they have to survive the most expensive entry barrier of any modern trade, the flight training debt mountain. Going from zero experience to a commercial pilot license at a structured flight academy in 2026 costs anywhere from $93,000 to over $130,000. And because flight schools generally do not qualify for low-interest federal student loans, almost all aspiring pilots are forced to rely on private student loans, carrying brutal double-digit interest rates. Once they graduate with their licenses at 250 hours, they face a legal wall. Under FAA rules, to fly for an airline, you must hold an airline transport pilot certificate, which requires a minimum of 1,500 flight hours. To bridge this massive 1,250-hour gap, pilots spend 1 to 2 years working as certified flight instructors, earning a meager $30,000 to $45,000 a year. During this 1,500-hour grind, their high-interest private loans enter repayment. A $100,000 flight school loan at 11% interest requires a crushing payment of roughly $1,400 a month for 10 years on an instructor's salary that is almost their entire post-tax income, forcing many to take on second jobs or dive deeper into credit card debt just to feed themselves. When they finally hit 1,500 hours and land that first coveted regional airline job, they aren't rich. They are simply transitioning from financial survival to structural recovery. Once hired by an airline, a pilot faces a massive logistical challenge. Basing. Airlines do not place you where you want to live. They assign you based on operational seniority. For a junior pilot, this almost always means being assigned to high cost of living metropolitan hubs like New York, San Francisco, or Chicago. If our junior pilot lives in Florida but is based in New York, they become a commuter. They have to hitch rides on standby flights to get to work. And since standby is never guaranteed, they must arrive the night before their shift. To survive, they pay for a crashpad, a shared apartment near the airport where up to 15 pilots share bunk beds, rotating in and out depending on their schedules. A decent crashpad bed costs about $400 a month. Add in the high cost of eating airport and hotel food for 15 days a month, maintaining expensive uniforms, and paying out of pocket for parking at their home airport. And a junior pilot's personal overhead begins to aggressively eat away at their paycheck. The only relief is per diem. Airlines pay pilots an hourly rate, usually around $2.50 an hour, for every hour they are away from their home base, to cover food and incidental expenses. While this tax-free cash helps, it is rapidly consumed by the sheer premium price of living out of a suitcase. To see the raw truth, let's run the definitive, real-world monthly comparison. We're going to look at the exact take-home pay of a first-year first officer at a major carrier versus a senior widebody captain. Our first-year first officer earns an hourly rate of $120 at a 75-hour monthly guarantee, plus $500 in tax-free per diem. Their gross monthly pay is $9,500. After a standard 30% deduction for federal taxes, state taxes, and FICA, they are left with $6,650. But now, we subtract the mandatory deductions. $185 for ALPA union dues, $1,400 for their flight school loan payment, and $400 for their commuter crashpad. Their actual liquid monthly take-home pay, $4,665. While that is a livable wage, it is a far cry from the glamorous wealth most people associate with airline pilots. They are one medical exam failure away from losing their license and being unable to service that massive debt. Now, let's look at our Year 12 widebody captain, earning a premium $450 an hour and flying 82 actual block hours, plus international overrides and per diem. Their monthly gross is a staggering $38,100. Even after losing 42% to high-bracket taxes and paying $743 in union dues and $400 in private loss of license insurance, their monthly take-home cash is a monumental $20,955. Their flight training debt was paid off a decade ago. Their seniority allows them to live wherever they want with a guaranteed schedule. And their airline is contributing a massive 16% non-elective cash deposit directly into their 401k. This is the ultimate truth of the aviation career path. It is not a job where you build a steady, comfortable life from day one. It is a front-loaded sacrifice. You must survive years of low hourly wages, staggering debt, sleep deprivation, and extreme lifestyle disruption. But if you can pay those dues, weather the storms, and climb the seniority ladder, the view from the top is unlike anything else on Earth. Let me know in the comments, would you trade your 20s and take on $100,000 in debt for a shot at the captain's seat? Thanks for watching, and next time, we're auditing what a small business owner actually keeps. After running the numbers, most people never see. Subscribe so you don't miss it.